Hey there everyone, this is Cass with SCNS Live. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to check out the video version of this, you can check it out on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all at SCNS Live. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our new episode of the Super Cool Nerd Show, SCNS Live.
Yeah,
Happy
buddy.
National Video Game Day to all you guys out there in the Super Cool Nerd Nation. We're glad you joined us tonight. My name is Jason the X. The lady over here.
I'm Kat. He doesn't do this show alone. I don't know if you knew that.
I stopped doing the phrase and then bring it up again.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
What was the phrase?
It's almost like
I don't do this show by myself.
I mean, I've been trying new stuff, like, you know.
Not being obnoxious.
No,
Oh.
Fair enough.
Always.
It wouldn't be Jason the X without.
Introduce your damn selves.
I'm the Malcolm in the middle of the show. Hello.
I thought you was Bryce.
Once.
I haven't.
Twice.
I'm Cass. Hello.
And I'm Rick. Hi.
And back behind the board, rested, recuperated from her vacation, it's Cora.
Hello, I'm back where I belong.
You belong behind bars.
That's so mean.
Pouring
Oh,
drinks.
really?
Right?
Yes.
Oh, that's me. Is it me?
Yes.
Because
it's
you
me.
knew this was going to happen.
What was
So-
that?
What happened, Jason?
What happened, Jason?
well, let me. It might be a secret to everyone out there, but one of my most hated things are GoBots, and the other spam. And someone put a mysterious envelope in the mailbox that had this in there.
Yum.
What's that?
And then you follow me on social media. You may have seen a video where I was a bit upset because someone got one over on me and I didn't know who.
It seems like a vast overreaction. Everybody gets spam.
Yeah.
Oh, got him.
But, you know, every great villain is always brought down by a bumbling buffoon. And our own Cora was brought down by her own lackey as well. Which, go ahead, please, go through the motions.
Okay, so I've had this spam single in my possession for 2 months. And I had this plan for just about as long. At first, I was going to hide it around his house, but then I knew I would be a target. So I decided to put it in an envelope and then put the envelope in the mailbox. And that's what I did. And he didn't suspect a thing. He wasn't even outside. He was busy filming alternate heads. So I had the perfect opportunity. A friend of mine and I were going to the IKEA nearby, so we just drove by and did a drive-by mailing. It was great.
She even did crappy handwriting and misspelled my name to throw me off. I had
Yep.
no idea.
How many? How did she misspell your name? What was the?
She put 2 L's in there.
I
But
did.
that's all right because I'm handling an L right back.
That's right.
Also, public service announcement. If you're an aspiring villain out there, ensure that your thugs, lackeys, and or minions have been properly vetted. Because that may end up with you doing a dime in, what's the Batman prison?
Arkham.
Not Arkham.
Oh.
Blackgate.
Blackgate. Might have you doing a dime in Blackgate when they give you up to the real hero. Anyway.
Are you sure it's Blackgate and not those little jailhouses that you see at the pumpkin patch? Because I feel like that's what she deserves.
We're not this is-
Jailhouse and little cute little letters,
Stop.
and she's just like,
Why are you making
you take
incarceration
the picture,
cute?
your little like 6-year-old, and they look sad.
We gotta put her in a little stripy hat. And
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay,
Anyway,
I tried.
while she did not fully execute her plan, I'm gonna admit right now, I was pissed off. It had no postage on it, so I was like, I can't get revenge, which was the worst thing. I couldn't do anything about it.
He was losing his mind for a couple
So,
days there.
Kudos.
It was great.
Kudos. You know, You didn't get it all, but damn it, you got some. Okay.
I got the reaction. That's mostly what I wanted.
salute you.
Thank you.
My revenge will be horrible. Anyway,
Yeah, I figured.
with all that said, let's kick it off with some super cool nerd news. On the super cool nerd news, we regret to inform you that the loss of our board operator Cora. I'm sorry, that's next week's headline. I apologize. Woo, okay.
Seems
So,
suspicious.
so sorry about that.
Premeditated.
So the iPhone 11 will be making it's not out just yet, but some specs release puts it pretty much a good rival for the S10. While the processor is about the same as the last iPhone, the screen is smaller, but the battery life on the iPhone will give you more than the Samsung 10 and the new Note that just came out. But all that's unimportant because the 3 cameras on the back are apparently freaking people the fuck out.
There's a one F-bomb.
There's my one. So, trypophobia, people who are scared of holes and things, especially should that holes be in skin, are apparently triggered. I don't know how much this is a joke and how much just, people, actually freaked out. Honestly, some of the images that people have put up are way worse than just 3 cameras in a triangle form, in a pyramid formation on the back of the phone. Also, the cameras are just as comparable to the S10. A little bit better. I'm jealous. Anyway,
Are you jealous because we don't have massive security leaks with it? Or because you can see from the Apple logo what our logo is? Or, also because the cameras are better and the processor's better and the
that's real.
closed garden
I don't think
system
so.
actually is working out for them.
Fake news.
Can I ask,
No.
can I ask a legitimate question? What are the 3 cameras for?
I read about it. I don't know. That's basically like one's going to give you.
Basically, so
depth
this is
focus.
what it is, okay?
Okay.
So they're going to give you basically the way these cameras work now, and I assume, I actually haven't read about this, but the way that cameras work now to give you depth of field in things like portrait mode is by building kind of an alternate background that they then use it's like CGI models for the background that they then put on a very shallow depth of field.
Okay.
It could be for that also because HDR photos are one underexposed, one overexposed, one perfectly exposed, and then combined.
Right.
And that's what HDR mode does. I'm assuming that these will do all 3 at once
Nice.
instead of in rapid succession.
Thanks, actual Apple, person.
Hey, it looks like I'm not even clowning. The iPhone 11 looks pretty solid.
Genuinely, I don't like it.
Dual 12MP ultra wide and wide cameras, 2 times optical zoom out, portrait mode with advanced bokeh, and there's gonna be a night mode.
Don't forget about the smell-o-vision mode.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the whole fastest chip thing. It's comparable to everything that's out there. It's not that much better. But it doesn't. My thing is, it doesn't seem that much different from the last iPhone.
But it has 3 cameras.
That's what they tend to do. They'll do one that looks way different and has more features kind of, and that one is not as big a hardware upgrade as the ones in between them. So the next one will look essentially the same, but those are the ones that early adopters, people like me, jump on the next one, not this one.
Do you know if the current iPhone does 4K recording?
It can, yes.
Okay. The new one's gonna
There
as
will
well.
be.
So.
I mean, it's not worth it for the amount of memory that it sucks up, but it can.
It can.
Yeah.
I will say, out of the models they're offering, the lowest grade one actually is the cheaper out of all of the Galaxy phones and the iPhones. It is their lowest grade is the cheapest. I think it's maybe $50 to $100 cheaper. So hey, that is something to consider. These things do get quite expensive.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story. Cora.
Oh, why did you choose me? All right.
Because this is ridiculous.
Okay, so as no one is shocked, I'm a big fan of dating sims. And so, when this passed by my radar, I felt like we all needed to know because, well, actually, let me ask y'all a question.
Okay.
Do y'all like KFC?
I love KFC.
No.
Finger looking good.
Those are the three answers.
All right. Jason?
I'm really more of a Popeyes person.
Ah, I see.
So you like what you can't have.
Well,
I like the grilled chicken there.
Well, for some of you, this game may be just up your alley because we have I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator.
Ew.
This was announced yesterday. We do have a release date of September 24th.
Wow, really?
Yeah, September 24th. I will be getting this game. And I just want to read to you guys some of the features in this game. You have 9 lovable characters. You have multiple hours of playthrough. You have dateable Colonel Sanders, so you can date the Colonel. I mean, look at that kiss. Mwah. A secret ending. Secret. You also have secret recipes. Double
Everybody's wanted that.
Cooking battles. Battle battles. Earn a degree from a fictional culinary school. 11 herbs and spices. Cute miniature food. And officially created by KFC. Oh, really? This is officially made by KFC.
I've got a friend that's cosplayed that Colonel Sanders.
Which
And
is
What's
amazing.
wrong with people?
We call him Daddy Sanders.
Yeah.
After I earn that fictional cooking degree, can I then get a job at a fictional, real place of employment?
Well,
I mean, you'd be qualified to work at KFC with a fictional.
I think literally all of us at this table are qualified to work at KFC. No offense. I think we're all qualified to work at KFC.
A decent
I
amount
would-
of us worked in the food industry,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah.
I will say that one of the things is that you like partner up with Colonel Sanders to open up other KFCs or open up KFC, like open up a restaurant. So you get to date Colonel Sanders.
She almost said marinate.
No,
Yeah.
I almost said marry, but
That's what I
marinate
thought.
also works. But you
So
get
the
to
kids are
date
calling.
him and then open a KFC.
So this is a guaranteed play for.
Oh yeah, your teacher is a corgi, like
what's his name?
Wait, what?
Professor Dog.
Oh, well. Stupid me for asking.
Aw.
Yo, dog, can I get today off?
Hey, put that respect on his name.
Mister.
His
Professor.
Professor.
He didn't go to school just for you to call him dog.
I
Like-
wouldn't have to.
Legitimately, this is so ridiculous that it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
No word on price yet, but if it follows in the same vein of others that have been on Steam, it'll be about like $10. So we'll see.
Nice.
Halo in the chat says it's free.
It's gonna be free.
That's what Halo says.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't want to
man.
Oh, no.
call her out. Like,
What a
I don't
bargain.
know if she.
Let me just say right now, if this thing is free, like I was already gonna buy it, but now I need it. I mean,
You know what they say? If it's free, it's me.
yeah. Kat, what do you have for us this week?
Something better than that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, not, but just as ridiculous. So, Death Stranding.
Yep.
Oh.
So, for the last, 9 months, we have been looking at previews and pictures and stuff of Death Stranding, going, what the F is this game? What do you do in it? What is it for? It's Kojima's newest whatever it is, starring Norman Reedus, and they released at the Tokyo Game Show a playthrough of one of the missions. So now we sort of kind of get it a little bit. So here's the DL. You're playing Sam Bridges, who's Norman Reedus, and he's on a coast-to-coast trek across the ruined United Cities of America, or UCA, no idea, creating strands that link divided humans together. I don't know how you create them. Anyway, the baby is BB, which is not shorter and is just as hard to say, but whatever. It's BB. It's short for bridge baby. It's a fetus in an artificial womb that allows him to see BTs, which are beached things. Beach things are supernatural monsters from other dimensions who are rampaging the UCA, and you have to avoid or destroy them, and then strand your people together with the BB that you carry. Makes sense? Great.
I thought you said that we learned what it was about.
That's
Never.
it is not less confusing after like a mission worth of playthrough and what's going on. It's still like okay. But like, and now I'm concerned if you play through the game, does it get less confusing? Your missions are clearer, but like as what's going on, it's
most
still
likely.
like,
I mean, you want people to get this game, and you want people to like play it, so and as it goes, you don't want to give it all away, I guess, right off the bat.
I don't feel like someone's going to be watching me play this game. So how do you like it? I don't know.
You
Like,
know,
that'll be my answer for everything. How was it? I don't know.
but like horror games and horror movies fall into this weird thing sometimes where where you play or watch or whatever, and at the end you're like, what happened? I don't know. Not sure what happened. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I know he explained it. I'm still just like, just because you explained it doesn't mean it makes any sense. And also, the words "bridge baby" should not be there. I am not comfortable with hearing this word. His ankles need to be tilted. You know, yeah, bridge baby.
I looked away from everything happening for a half second. I thought you were talking about the baby.
No,
His ankles need to be
I'm
tied
just
together.
like, okay, never have I just been this excited for a game that I just am so confused over.
You had me mystified at beach things.
Yeah.
Well, we saw those.
Like,
we
wait,
kind of,
like,
you know,
wait.
they're a threat, you know, of some sort. I'm just not sure. I want this game.
I mean, it's working, right? All of this kind of confusion, it's working. Most people that I know still want to play the game, so...
But was that because of like details that have come out, or
No,
is that
it's because of who's making it.
Norman Reedus and Kojima made a game together?
Mostly Norman Reedus and Kojima made a game. So, okay, that's fair.
Isn't Guillermo del Toro involved in this game too?
Yep.
Yep.
Guillermo del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen are also involved.
Also, that chick from Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Which one?
I think that
yeah.
was really, you know, what
No,
made the
James Bond.
deciding factor.
That girl
That
from
chick from James
either
Bond.
James Bond or Mission Impossible.
It never was any of that. Norman Reedus's face looks like Norman Reedus's face, which is kind of weird to me. How much it looks
Yeah,
like
the
him.
Uncanny Valley has been reached here. I love
I mean,
Aaron.
we've been sitting
That
there
game's
for a
either going to be
while.
amazing or not.
Yeah.
He looks more like Norman Reedus than Norman Reedus's character in The Walking Dead
That's
does.
true.
And that's
And
weird.
we will have Norman Reedus for many more decades after this, just preserved as so.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have Keanu Reeves the same way in that one game, the
Yeah.
20.
Yeah,
Unless
Cyberpunk
they don't
2079.
update
Yeah,
it,
that one.
2077.
Or 2077 now.
Unless they don't update it.
Yeah.
Because video games are going the way of old TV shows and that, like,
Yeah.
no preservation. Anyway, that's all I got. I might play it. It looks weird.
It's real weird.
Cass, what do you got?
Hey, so if you enjoy J.J. Abrams' work, then you might have to turn to Warner Media to keep getting it. His production company, Bad Robot, has signed a deal with Warner Brothers for $500 million. This deal will come into effect, I would assume, in 2020, because it has to come into effect after The Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, he produced that as well as directing it. So him and his wife, Katie McGrath, are the leaders of this company. Katie McGrath is not the girl from Supergirl. This is a different Katie McGrath. And apparently they are married. I didn't actually know that.
Damn Hollywood and the not changing names. I don't care.
They will create television, games, digital content, movies, all of that with an exclusive deal with Warner Brothers. They have entered into deals with Warner Brothers before. Person of Interest was produced for Warner Brothers and was produced by Bad Robot. So this isn't like unprecedented them working together, but this is an exclusive deal. This actually comes after earlier this year, Warner Brothers signed a $400 million deal with Greg Berlanti, who you might recognize from the CW shows, producing all of the CW shows now, anything connected with the DC universe, which obviously is a Warner Brothers property. So they're actually kind of getting their stuff together. They also announced, obviously, HBO Max as a Warner Brothers thing, so presumably a lot of this Bad Robot content will be released on HBO Max, which is a bummer for those of us who don't have HBO and wanted to watch anything done by J.J. Abrams the next 5 years. But
If only there was another way.
Oh, there is.
drink up, be hearties, yo ho! Yeah? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay then.
We're all going back to being pirates.
hey,
That's
Yo
gonna
ho,
go, man.
yo ho.
a pirate's
We warned you about this. So yeah, it's another feather in Warner Brothers' cap, which I feel like they need since their cap is kind of fading away as of late.
They're trying to come up against the mouse.
Yeah, which is scary at this point.
No, spam is not good.
Joe.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Next.
that's me. It's a very condensed, I suppose, story.
JJ needs work.
It's a little heavy, but yeah. J.J. Abrams is gonna run out of work.
Yeah, make him make Justice League.
Seriously.
Give me the
Yep.
Snyder cut. Give me the Snyder cut.
I need the Snyder
Let's
cut.
just move forward.
Momoa wants the Snyder cut, therefore I want the Snyder cut.
Let's just
Exactly.
move forward.
What you got?
Universal owned the Dark Universe, right? And it imploded after the failure that was the 2017 Tom Cruise Mummy movie,
Son.
right? Not
Yeah.
good,
Forgot about that.
right? All right.
That's not a good sign.
No. Well, the young man who worked as a tour director, as a tour guide at Universal Studios, has grown up to direct Bridesmaids, the Ghostbusters movie from 2 or 3 years ago, Brides.
Great movie.
Yep. He's directed a bunch of episodes of The Office. So
Hey.
you may know Paul Feig. So he's got a movie called Last Christmas coming out soon. He is set to write and direct a movie called Dark Army. It's going to be an original piece that he's making with existing Universal Monster classic characters, along with characters he's going to create, is the word that is being said by Deadline. So the guy who calls himself the world's biggest MST3K geek is set to make a serious horror movie, a action comedy horror movie. We really don't know what he's going to make.
You
But-
had me at original.
Yeah, right? So this is going to be something that may or may not be connected to The Invisible Man, which is a movie that is in pre-production by the co-creator of Saw and Insidious. I believe the man's name is Lee Whannell, who is set to direct The Invisible Man. So Universal is trying to get some stuff going with the classic monsters and some original characters with Paul's production of the Dark Army. It should be interesting to see what happens. I'm not sure what to expect, but Paul hasn't really commented. There's nothing that I can tell you directly from Paul other than what's been released on that press release. But I'm interested to see what sort of direction it takes, because he's obviously directed comedies, so, and I'm a big fan of the Monster Squad, but from the 80s. So I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be a darker tone than the Monster Squad, but still, I think the guy's got some chops in the directing and writing field.
I mean, these are historic characters in movies, and we're all horror fans. Like I said, you had me at original story, and it sounds good.
Yeah. And I don't think that horror and comedy are mutually exclusive. You can have a dark and a scary horror movie while still having a decent amount of comedy in there.
Cabin in the Woods.
Exactly. though.
Or when Jason put the camper in the sleeping bag.
Return of the Living Dead. Send more cops. Send more paramedics.
Lost Boys.
I thought Ghostbusters
Chapter
had a
2.
decent amount
Yeah, it's Chapter
of
2.
both. It
Mhm.
definitely leaned towards comedy, and I'm talking about the one he did.
Yeah.
It leaned towards comedy, but some of those ghosts were genuinely freaky looking. You know,
Well, yeah.
like
Uh,
they're upsetting when all the carnival people started like, yeah,
That and the
or the
lady.
mannequin.
the lady,
mannequins.
yeah, in the house.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
lady
That was
house scared me.
that was pretty messed up.
That was great.
So he's had his horror moments. I like the way he puts together a story, like cautiously optimistic about what he would do in this.
Absolutely.
Last man standing.
All right, awesome. So, as we all know, we're all very excited about Disney Plus, and we're only going to get more excited. Like at this point, we're like, just release it already. Just you're going to get us our money, but now they've added more, and I'm just like, oh god. Disney Plus. Okay, first off, Disney Plus is currently live in the Netherlands. They're doing the beta tests out there. So if you live in the Netherlands,
Plane tickets now.
they're doing beta testing out there. They've been doing it for at least a week or two, from what I read earlier. Didn't put down in my notes, but Disney Plus is live in the Netherlands, so they're doing the beta tests. And anything between then and now could obviously change for the US. Launched November 12th of this year, but there's been some screenshots of the interface, how everything's working, how everything looks. But there is something that might catch a lot of the eyes of a lot of 90s kids. People just grew up in the 90s. Currently, in this beta, they have the X-Men animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, all these are from the 90s, Iron Man from 1994, Incredible Hulk, and they're saying that other Marvel cartoons such as Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Spider-Woman from 1979, Spider-Man from 1981 will also be available, though it may vary by region. But now, okay, so like Marvel, the X-Men, I know it's been on Hulu before. I don't know if it's still on there. Spider-Man, I know was on Hulu briefly, but you cannot find either one of these on DVDs or Blu-rays unless they're like from.
Well, it's going to be returning.
So some, country that ripped them off and put them on DVDs for you. But these are not easily available. And now that they're going to be part of this $5.99 packet, it's just like I'm never leaving my couch. I can watch all of the Disney Channel original movies. I can watch all the shows. I can watch all the Simpsons, and now I've got X-Men and Spider-Man from the 90s. Like some of the best cartoons that were out there.
Do we know if this is going to be a commercial-free network?
I don't know.
Because if it's going to be because if it's going to be commercial-free, I don't know when I'm going to find time to shower and go to work.
Right?
They make shower curtains so you can put your phones in there
Yeah.
on the outside. Yeah,
They
I
do.
totally have one.
Oh yeah, my phone is waterproof.
No, you
so
put it
I'll
on the
be set.
outside of the shower.
No,
Outside
I'm
of
saying mine is waterproof now, so I won't have to worry about
There you go. So another thing also is if you are a Disney Movie Club member, they are currently, if you might have gotten an email already. If not, you should probably be getting one soon. If you prepay up to you get $40 off the entire thing if you prepay up to 3 years of Disney Plus, or $20 off if you prepay for 2 years. So basically, for the $40 off, you're basically getting, 4 months free, and then if you do what am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4,
You're
8
doing
months
bad
free.
math.
On
Yeah.
air math, ladies
Hey.
and gentlemen.
8 months free, or you can get 4 months free. So that's phenomenal. So at the 2-year Disney subscription with $20 off, it's going to be $119 plus tax, depending where you live. And then for the 3 years, it's going to be $169 plus tax, of course. And it's not the same discount that D23 members got, which was like the 3 years for like less than like $3 a month.
To hell with those people.
But this offer is going to be available until October 7th of this year. So yeah, just keep an eye out for those emails if you are a Disney Movie Club member. But yeah, I mean, I'm already throwing my money at them. They're just, at this point, they're just like putting like the meat in front of me, just give me just let me watch it
I
all.
think the biggest rumor of Haley Steinfeld is possibly going to be Kate Bishop. Was pretty, like, I've been a big fan of her work since True Grit. So,
Yeah. She was
so
in True
good
Grit.
in
I know.
True Grit, like,
She was so good, and I was like, that girl is going to go far.
Yeah.
and then she
and
was
of course,
in Pitch Perfect 2 after that.
But not
She
because
was
of-
really good
She
in
was
that
so
too.
good. And then Spider-Man.
And
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that movie about the Hornets.
You know, there's a bootleg movie called Hornet, based
Are
off
you
of
serious?
Yes.
Oh my
made
god.
by the Asylum.
That's
I
amazing.
almost watched it just as like to live review it, but
Nope.
Don't give Asylum your
all I
money.
can say about the X-Men.
Da-da.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
copyright
That's
material.
copyrighted material.
It's okay. They didn't
It was
get the
less than
beats
30
right.
seconds. It was less than 30 seconds.
Also, y'all's
It is
beats are
not
off, so
30 seconds,
Oh,
but
we're
it
fine.
wasn't
We're fine.
recognizable enough for us to be concerned about it.
They had like a pilot episode of the X-Men way back in the 80s, so I was so happy. I love the old X-Men cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the
When you-
shout out, Joseph. Hope you appreciated that.
Just a
So
little bitty.
I used to
Bitty
watch that cartoon, and then
person.
because I'm sorry to say this, Bryce, but when I was a kid, I would watch the X-Men cartoon as soon as it was over. Star Trek would come on, and because I didn't grow up with Star Trek, I would turn off the TV and walk away. Because I was a kid.
That was an unnecessary revealing fact about your childhood. But
And we, by the
anyway,
way, we
Ricardo.
don't have to move to get Disney Plus. We just need to tell our phones that they're in a different place.
I
That's
actually already
illegal.
have the lockdown on how to do that if you need.
Why
Oh,
is that, Kat?
Nothing to do with
don't
Pokemon.
no
Pokemon Go
no.
hasn't
Did y'all
inspired
know
that at
No.
all.
Did y'all know that Netflix has episodes of Kamen Rider? All of them. So I just need to tell my phone that it's somewhere else.
I will tell you that legitimately I was confused. I didn't know how much this was genuinely happening until I took my tablet device to Korea, and then all of a sudden Brooklyn Nine-Nine was on Netflix, and I was all excited. And I was
Nine-Nine!
watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine Archer, and then we went to Tokyo, and then Brooklyn Nine-Nine wasn't available there, but Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt had the second season out, which wasn't available in Korea yet, even between the countries. It's crazy.
Wow. So yeah, hopefully the U.S. is one of those that gets this. I'm most likely just because it is the U.S. But some of this stuff might be by region. So and they might just like switch it around, like like you get it for 6 months, then they get it for 6 months, and just
Do we have a date?
November 12th is the drop date for Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah, Hulu just
Yep.
looking an add-on.
Yep, and a lot of
Oh, yeah.
stuff is going to be
Why aren't we deleting it?
available right
I
away.
didn't say delete Hulu.
Why not?
same company, more money.
Remember,
Invader
Disney
Zim.
owns like over 50% of Hulu.
Exactly. So isn't most of the stuff on Hulu going to be on Disney Plus anyway?
Kind of.
No, I mean, if we already have Hulu, then it's just a $5 add-on.
Right, but isn't it $6 total anyway? So why
No,
would I
if
keep
you
paying
if
for
you
Hulu
no,
at
they,
all?
they're doing a package thing where if it's Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN all together for like $10.99, something like that.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
a show
yeah,
on
thank
Thursday
God,
night, so clearly I don't
ESPN.
care about
But
sports.
I could just do
I mean-
Disney for $6 and then not have Hulu or ESPN.
Now, Hulu is probably still going to matter. How many times have you clicked on something in Hulu and you've been like, do you want to add on stars? It's going
Fair
to be
enough.
like that.
But I mean with ESPN though, they started
what the
they've
voice
started
sounds
to
like.
air
That's
a
what
lot
the
of
voice sounds
esports. So
Yeah, but you can also get those on where they're normally on.
See, I got the Twitch All Access Pass so that I don't have to watch commercials for
So
my
ESPN
esport.
doesn't matter.
I still have to
It
miss
does
it
matter.
on
Sports
Thursday
matter.
nights, to Jason's point, but here we
Well,
are.
here's
I mean,
where I
I
gotta
can say the same thing about esports.
interrupt y'all because now's the part. It's the subject of this show. We talk about the bad guys because you can't have heroes without a bad guy. Or these days you actually because the line's been boring. So thought we could talk about some of our favorites out there. And mine's the best. I should probably go last.
No, you have to go first because
Okay, then I will go.
We want to go
first.
worst to last, so you got to go first.
Oh, that's not even true at all. Probably not the best depicted in his last on-screen performance.
Oh no, it was perfectly depicted in the last
But my favorite villain is Doctor Doom. I'm sorry. Why am I apologizing? Doctor Doom is
Dr.
a
Doom
genius.
wouldn't apologize.
Apologizing.
He is knowledgeable of technology, the mystical arts. He has a country, and the man has a castle. The man has a castle. He's extremely smart. The only thing that defeats Doom sometimes is, well, hubris. But is that not the bane of all villains out there?
Nope.
Unless, can I at least finish before y'all just start cutting down Doom? When
Hubris
Doom
the
comes on the
foremost
scene,
incompetent superheroes.
it is a big problem for everybody. But there's times that Doom has done the right thing, mainly because it would interfere with his whole ruling everything. So he, nope, I have to rule everything. He's wielded the Infinity Gauntlet. He's taken the power cosmic. I honestly don't see why Doom has not defeated most of the Marvel Universe and stayed on top. Granted, when he created War World, okay, the greatest thing Doctor Doom did was merging all of the universes, so Marvel stopped being a problem in the comics with its different realities. So if we're going to give him credit for anything, let's give him that. Though he kind of ruled everything and then lost it. Still, damn. So, yeah.
So he's cool because he's smart and he has stuff.
I'm just saying, if there was a villain that was going to rule over my everyday life, I think it would have to be Doom for me.
I mean,
Okay,
you also kind
that's how you define best villain, is who you would
No,
want
I'm
to
saying
live
he could-
under.
No, I'm just saying that if there was anybody, like the people in Latveria, they're not doing too badly, okay? Granted, you better not say anything bad against the ruling party or a Doombot will show
Wait,
up
what
and
does that
roast
sound
you.
like?
You
That sounds
just
like
described Putin exactly.
I mean that
No, people don't-
100%.
I mean that kind of sounds like
Very
North Korea.
smart. It's
You're
not
free to
that
do other
bad
things,
under
but I'm
him.
just saying.
Pat is super rich and
It's
has a
super
castle.
rich and
That's
has a castle,
Putin.
owns a country, and
No,
it's not that bad
because
for
Doom
you
would
as
defeat
long
Putin,
as you don't
okay?
talk bad about it.
When Doom comes on the scene, though, as a villain, it is a big problem. Multiple heroes have to come together to beat Doctor Doom. And of course, yes, at the end, he might be shaking his fist going, damn you, Richards! And Squirrel Girl did defeat him one time. I cannot forget that. And Luke Cage said, where's my money, bitch? So,
Bitch, where's my money?
okay.
I mean,
he said, where's my money, honey? But we all know what Jack
He
Kirby meant.
also
We all know what Jack Kirby meant. Let's keep it 100.
he toots as he pleases. You see the picture? Someone's trying to punch him. And he
But
goes,
there's
"Don't
like-
toot the horn."
he
He goes,
toots
"I
as he
toot
pleases."
as I
There.
please."
It's
Dr.
Namor.
Doom is one of
Is
the
it Namor?
greatest villains, if not the greatest villain. I don't
Okay.
care
It's like
who
Spock.
y'all are going to put up.
Right.
Dr. Doom is the best. He will eliminate anybody that dares to be a better villain than him.
Okay, but you also like everything you were describing for Doctor Doom. I could take out Doctor Doom's name and just put in Lex Luthor.
No, Lex Luthor is not a master of the mystic arts either.
That's a good point.
And he does not
Master
rule,
of technology.
and
He
he does not
was
rule
he
Latveria.
was president of the United States.
but he does not rule
And Dr.
Latveria either.
Doom rules a whole nation.
Yeah.
A sovereign nation, too. Like, you don't mess with Latveria.
The United
No.
States nomination. Sorry,
I didn't say that. A sovereign nation, Latveria.
is the United States not a sovereign nation?
Yes.
It's
He
truly
was
not
president.
anymore.
He ruled it.
Fair enough. If you're
Sure,
president,
there
then
was
yeah, you're
checks-
ruling over
there's
a
checks and
sovereign
balances.
Eventually, he got booted out of office.
And
You go-
eventually-
go try to
Or
impeach Dr.
Superman
Doom.
murdered him.
Go try to impeach Dr. Doom. Doom has heard your cries, and
Man,
there is no
that's a
impeachment process.
that's a very
Fair
Kim
enough.
Jong Un thing to do.
And also, no one goes after him. The man rules an entire nation. Does anybody go like looking for trouble in Latveria? Usually they do, and it's usually bad for him. So I'd say he has held on. He has found a measure of power and held on to it the longest of all the villains in the Marvel universe.
All right.
So best guy out there, Doom. He went and got his mama's soul from Mephisto. Was able to defeat Mephisto.
Okay, that was better.
Yeah.
That was
This-
a great
this-
graphic novel with Doctor Strange.
Mhm.
Yep. Written
Juan-
by Roger Stern.
sorry.
Who's coming at me? Who's coming?
1989.
Doom. I mean, Juan Gutierrez said, "Doom. He crosses the street. I will not stop the car."
And you will die. You think a puny car will stop Doom? Oh God, I'm talking to the third person.
No. He's saying that he won't stop the car. He'll just go ahead and hit Doom with the car.
That will do nothing except get you killed.
I'm sorry.
You don't think Mr. Fantastic
Maybe
is not-
maybe they hit him with a
Maybe
fire
I'll hit him with
hydrant
a
water, with
Yeah.
water from a fire
You
hydrant,
don't think
and
Ben Grimm has ever thrown a car at Dr. Doom? He's done it multiple times. It has not worked out.
So maybe the more important question that hasn't been asked is, how long have you had a fetish with men who have scars on their faces who are clad in armor?
He doesn't have scars anymore.
Welcome, Darth Vader.
I mean,
Jason's new fetish.
damn you, Richards.
No.
Now, granted, Doom is crazy. There is some mental
Really thought he was
instability
gonna
there.
say,
I mean, you
granted,
kind
he
of
was
have to
super
be
sexy.
mentally unstable
Yeah.
to be a villain.
Huh?
You have to be mentally unstable to a degree to be a villain.
But he's mentally unstable and does all the stuff I mentioned.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of villains do.
He's
Lex
good with the
Luthor.
Infinity Gauntlet. Which, granted, in the comic universe, it happens.
So he got a little
Quite often.
bauble that gave him powers.
So did Nebula.
Come on,
So that's
come
awesome.
at me. I will tell you. I will keep telling you, but our producer's saying hurry up and move on to the next person. So, go ahead, Cap.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can follow that.
You can give it up. Though.
Okay, so let's talk about a court jester who went insane and decided he was going to be not a president, a god. It's Kefka Palazzo from Final Fantasy VI. This man is insane. He is cray-cray. He has his own movement in the most beautiful symphonic overlays I've ever heard. And there's a whole university breakdown of what each one means. He goes crazier as he gets more power, and then he takes a different form entirely in his ascension to goddom. And he's your final villain in spoilers, I guess. Final Fantasy VI. He looks like a court jester, kind
Did
of.
you give a spoiler warning for Final Fantasy?
I'm considerate.
25?
Oh my God!
25 years ago?
He pronounced himself the god of magic, and he's just insane. He's got powers, lots of powers. You don't know what he wants really, but he gets more powerful as he figures it out. As his normal psyche breaks down, he gains more power, and he's just one of my favorite villains of all time. Except he had real powers, so he's an army general. He's in other ones, like he was in Dissidia, Final Fantasy. He had a creepy laugh and a character that creeped us out with only 10 pixels worth of anything, just sitting there going, and it was creepy. I think he wins.
I think he gets maybe one detractor for the insult son of a submariner. But I think that's the only one I got. He's an amazing villain.
They also brought him back into Final Fantasy XIV as a boss for one of the dungeons. I don't remember which one, or it could have been a raid. Don't quote me. I'm still new to this game. But he's one of the hardest ones, but he's also one of the most popular because his dungeon, according to everyone, the run is actually fun to do, and the music is a kind of a newer version of his original music. So, mad respect from Final Fantasy creators for him as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The scene where he had his soldiers dust off his boots in the middle of the desert was ad-libbed
Oh.
by
Nice.
somebody who's trying to get into his head. It's a very memorable scene.
It is.
He was just trying to get into his head. And then from that, his personality grew from then onward. That's why his castle is so weird and inconsistent. He's
I
been
love
described as powerful and manipulative. Sarcastic and one-liner. He's a nihilistic villain, and those are one of my favorite categories.
He definitely had the biggest rise to power from court jester to god level evil.
Yeah. He does get taken down by a bunch of dumbasses, but it's only because I'm playing them, and I'm pretty bad at video games.
I am spread out amongst these characters.
He has Tara, whose defining characteristic is question marks and ellipses. Just, huh?
And I love her for it.
Yeah.
She's real stupid.
But he's just real weird. I
He
don't
is.
know. It's been compared to the Joker a lot. I
I
can,
see a cat.
including on my T-shirt. It's hard to see from there, but this is a Kefka Joker mashup.
I can understand why, because you've got the crazy and you've got the jester theme going on. So there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Creepy.
I moved the cup. You guys can see it now. Anyway,
I love the Kill and Joke mashup. It's so great.
Cass got it for me.
Bryce, who'd you bring to the table?
Sticking with the theme of being thirsty for power. Let's talk about
Instead of thirsty for Doctor Doom.
yeah. Right.
That was at you.
I'm going to ignore that.
Uh-huh.
We're learning more about Jason tonight and his personal
His kinks.
Daddy
Yeah.
issues.
personal preferences.
We're not here to kink shame.
Maybe it's just the one I want to aspire to be.
He doesn't like spam, but we know he likes ironclad men.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you like, Bryce? Who do you
Please
think's the
don't
best
say it like
villain?
Who do I think is the best villain? Well, by far, the best villain in all of history. It took some men with serious bravado and smarts to take down this guy. Don't shake your head, no. Just go with it. Help me
Yeah.
convince
No,
the
go.
crowd here. No, the guy who was genetically bred a Superman in the late 20th century, who rose to power in the 22nd century, decided he wanted to rule Earth. He was from India, and that didn't work out too well when he was overthrown. And he and a bunch of his followers, maybe a dozen or so, had to flee Earth in the SS Botany Bay. And it was a sleeper ship. And that's when our intrepid crew of the USS Enterprise in the 23rd century found Khan Noonien Singh. And Khan didn't like being asleep disturbed by Kirk and his crew.
Did not
Care
care
for
for
it,
that.
no.
shit.
No, not so much. Not so much. He and James T didn't get along too well. So my thing about Ricardo Montalban's performance from Space Seed to Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, this guy had not only a robust physical, commanding performance. The guy was magnetic on screen. I mean, this guy had a lot of screen credits by the time he played in Wrath of Khan, and even probably by Space Seed. But any guy who can play a lovable fantasy island fantasy giver of fantasies, on television, and then play a bad guy like he did.
You're
He basically
forced-
played Captain Ahab.
You're of course referring to Spy Kids 4
Yes.
in 4D
Yeah,
smell-o-vision,
yeah.
the grandfather,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
One of his last roles. Yeah. So when Khan took over the USS Reliant and the Wrath of Khan, my brain melted in that movie theater, and I was so excited as a kid watching that. And I've seen Wrath of Khan numerous times since. That movie ranks as one of my favorites of all time, and it's an action film where the lead protagonist and the lead antagonist don't even meet face to face. It's like a submarine movie. They don't, their battles are in their ships. They never come to blows face to face, which is very different for an 80s
So
film.
Ricardo Montalban played him originally on TOS, right?
Yeah, in the Space Seed episode.
Okay, and he's like ripped on here.
Yeah, that's
He's
a
wearing
real.
Yes,
plastic
yeah.
chest.
No.
In Wrath of Khan,
No. That is him. That is his chest. No, they
Plus
dispelled.
baby oil.
They
but,
dispelled
like,
that rumor. People thought it was an
I'm sorry for the
application.
joke I made in alternate heads now.
Yeah, that's a real chest. That was him. The guy was physically, he was in great shape for
And how
most
does
of his
Benedict
life.
Cumberbatch play in all this?
Not well. Not well. That was a role he should have turned down. No, seriously, I mean, this guy was not only a physical match for everyone that he came across, but he was just a commanding leader. I mean, the ladies loved him. You know, he was a great character through and through.
Yeah, he definitely gets points for being a cult leader.
Yeah,
essentially, his followers are absolutely blind loyalty towards him, and I think he also gets points for just straight cruelty.
Yeah,
putting I don't remember what it's called.
Ceti Alpha Eel.
Into the ear to
Chekhov's
control
ear.
No one likes that scene.
Ugh, that's real gross.
Yeah. There. I can't praise the men who wrote that movie and who wrote Space Seed enough. I think it's fantastic film and TV to watch still.
Will you remind us how he gets defeated?
Well, him trying to use the Genesis device didn't work too well in Wrath of Khan. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, he wanted to use it, and it's like I said earlier, it's a Captain Ahab revenge, film, and he wants to kill Kirk in Wrath of Khan, and it didn't work out. He wanted to erase all of them from existence, the Reliant and the Enterprise.
Best last line though. From hell's heart I stab at thee, for hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee.
Yeah.
Yep.
The guy had a way with a phrase, and he could certainly wear a mullet like nobody's business in the 80s in that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, magnetic performer. And you know what? I don't know if you've ever seen him dance, but Ricardo Montalban could dance. He could do it all. He could sing, dance, act.
Make your fantasies come true.
He sure could.
Yeah.
He sure could.
Nice.
And wear a white suit. Let's give him credit.
Yeah, not every guy can pull off a white suit.
And wear a morph suit. Again, in Spy Kids.
Not make fun of him.
Yeah. No, that's an amazing villain.
Well, who have you got?
I have a slightly different kind of villain, more in line, I think, with Cats. Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. This is a triangle. He is quite literally. He's a yellow triangle. He was voiced by Alex. What is his last name?
Oh,
Alex. He was voiced by the creator of the show.
Oh,
Hirsch.
Alex
thank you.
Hirsch.
there we go.
I knew it began with an H.
I wasn't listening. I was like, yeah, Alex. Oh.
Alex Hirsch, who voiced many of the characters on the show, and he's a joyfully evil character, and that's one of the things I love about him. He tricks some of the most brilliant minds in the world, which I love. That he's brilliant in and of himself, but he's also very, very, very powerful. He is essentially a god in his own dimension, and his goal is essentially to become the god of our dimension. Like I said, voiced by Alex Hirsch, doing an absolutely terrible David Lynch impression.
Which is so amazing. It's just perfect for the show.
It's fantastic. He's doing an impression of David Lynch as he is seen in Twin Peaks. Gravity Falls is kind of a parody of Twin Peaks, and so
it's good.
Only
And
it's good
sexist.
and not horrendously sexist. So he is extremely chaotic. He outwits the most brilliant minds, but also is frequently defeated by some of the dumbest shit that you've ever seen in your life. He is
hubris and nihilism.
extremely so. He is eventually defeated, and this is a little bit of a spoiler. He is defeated by great sacrifice, which is one of my favorite things about him, is that you can't ultimately defeat him without doing something that breaks your entire world. But he also spends the last 3 episodes in an absolutely bonkers universe of his own design, and creation, and his one and only goal is to spread chaos, to spread weirdness, to spread everything that is bonker balls. And
Should I watch this show?
Yes.
it's a
absolutely.
super fun show, and it's not super long. It's only 2 seasons.
He traps one of the characters in her own personal like paradise for a while. Stuff like it's just bonker balls.
And
Put
he
it on the
also traps one of the kids outside his own body and then inhabits the kid's body for most of an episode. So he is a little bit scary, especially given that this is a children's cartoon
On Disney.
on Disney. He is a little bit scary. He is completely chaotic, and he's a yellow triangle that has loads and loads and loads of
With
personality.
the top hat.
With a top hat. Points, I think, for playing the piano while singing a creepy song to J.K. Simmons. Detractor for the couple of idiot ways that he does get defeated early on in the first couple of seasons. But one of my favorites, but also I think just a perfect example of that absolute chaotic god kind of character that eventually gets defeated by this amazing, amazing sacrifice. So,
It's not logical. It's what gets him every time.
yeah.
Accidentally looking up the character, I saw how he was defeated. Now I have to watch the show.
You really should.
Absolutely.
It is a super fun show.
Okay.
Also,
I've wanted to, I just
Kristen
haven't.
Shaw is amazing.
Who's that?
She plays Louise in Bob's Burgers. You've seen her.
Oh, okay.
She plays a lot of children, but yeah.
All right.
Were you trying to pull the factoid of how Khan was defeated by sacrifice from me earlier?
Well, we talked about how Doctor Doom gets defeated, and then
Yeah.
we talked about
He's never
how
defeated because
Captain
he's
gets
still there.
defeated. I feel like one of the biggest things about villains that determines whether they're a good or a bad villain is how they get defeated.
You're right.
Makes
Heroes
sense to
get
me.
lucky. Anyway.
Usually, yeah.
So I've got the villain. My villain is the Joker. First played by Cesar Romero in the 1960s Batman, then followed by Jack Nicholson in the 1989 Batman, followed by Mark Hamill on the Batman animated series, followed then by Heath Ledger in an Oscar-winning performance in The Dark Knight 2008, followed by an okay performance by Jared Leto, followed then by soon to be another Oscar-winning performance, I believe, by Joaquin Phoenix. This character, this villain, he does things just to do them. He doesn't always plan it. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he just does it on a whim. All because he just wants a Batman to kill him. That is his
people
goal.
just wanna watch
He is
the
trying to
world
push
burn.
Batman to the point where Batman breaks his own rule. Never really does. And in some incarnations of the character, in other ones, I mean, he really is batshit crazy. He has escaped Arkham multiple times. He's been allowed himself to be caught, to be put into Arkham, so he can just create more chaos. In the video games Injustice, he made Superman believe he was fighting Doomsday, only for Superman actually beating and killing Lois Lane and their unborn baby. That's pretty brutal and villainy to the point where Superman actually punched through Joker's chest, grabbed his spine, and ripped it out of him. Joker has become Emperor Joker, so he didn't just rule a little country, he ruled the galaxy, he ruled the universe. Let me see what else. He turned all the superheroes into dogs, into his pets. Let me see what else. He actually, okay, this is more of a superhero thing, but he actually fought Red Skull because he realized Red Skull was a Nazi. So
We don't
there's
play.
that. Yeah. Sorry, just got a weird text. Let's see what else. He beat Robin to the point of death and then blew him up with Batman somewhat kind of watching. He did that. You can't really trust him. He will kill just to kill. He will, and they're all funny. All his kills are funny. They're not just kills. There's always a joke behind it. So
You said you think that Joker's goal is to have Batman kill him?
That's been part of his goals. Yes.
It's been, I guess, one of his. I never got that. I've always thought of him as someone that likes to create chaos,
Well, yeah,
without
that's.
necessarily having a goal.
It
That's what I
depends
like
on the
about him.
incarnation.
Yeah.
There's been a few where he's like, I'm trying to make you break your one rule, which was what he said in Dark
In-
Knight.
in the
and then,
Dark Knight,
and then
yeah.
sorry, and then there's other versions where he's said similar things. Like
Okay.
recently in the animated movie Hush, he said are you finally gonna do it? Are you finally gonna kill me? It's just,
That's just somebody who doesn't care if he dies. I don't know.
Okay, so literally the only reason Joker is still alive is because Batman doesn't have the huevos to get rid of this guy.
I mean, do
So
the
it took-
Fantastic Four have the huevos
took
to
the
kill
big-
Doctor Doom?
Does Doctor Doom murder people indiscriminately, or does he have does he want to rule and be in power?
So you're saying being
I'm
ruled
saying
in
that
power
they have
is-
the inability to kill Doom. What stops?
Here's the thing, though.
from just going, you know what, Joker? I'm sick of you. Today is the day, and he puts a 45 bullet through Joker's head.
Hey,
Here's
hey,
the thing,
hey,
though.
hey,
Do you know
I
how
have your
often?
answer.
Go
What
ahead.
proof do you have that it's been the same guy the whole time?
Okay. Has he been caught and put behind bars for murder?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have the death penalty in Gotham City?
No.
Obviously not.
Famously, no.
Joker
What?
is a problem that people just refuse to acknowledge and address.
What
What's
proves
this-
that it's the same dude the whole time?
Do you know how many
do
times
you
Joker
know
has
he
died
hasn't
only to
been
come back and
killed?
live?
Okay, then allow me to make this motion for the electric chair. Next.
Your problem with the Joker is that he's mortal?
No, the problem I have with the Joker is he's clearly just a murderer. He just wants
So
chaos.
is Lex Luthor, the
Lex
Punisher,
Luthor desires power. The Punisher
the Punisher,
is no hero.
Kingpin,
No, I'll admit the Punisher is no hero at all. But he does
Harley
what
Quinn,
needs to be.
the Huntress.
Don't bring
Any
this whataboutism in here.
But your problem with the Joker
My problem
is that he could die.
No, my problem with the Joker is that no one seems to just want to take care of the problem. Joker is an easily solvable problem that just doesn't get solved for some reason.
I'm
So
sorry,
are
he
half
can't
the
be
villains.
I'm not saying that every villain needs to be. Some just are robbing a bank. and they
I
wanna get
will
rich.
tell you this though. I mean, Joker has never been defeated by a fire hydrant and fire.
But Batman, just so he can continue playing this game of, I'm the Batman, and I won't kill you. But I'll beat your ass and throw you in Arkham till you eventually get out and we play this game all over again.
Your
I'm
problem
just
is
saying
that
that-
Batman won't kill him.
Yes, actually, that is my problem.
That is true of 90% of superheroes out there.
Why
I'm not
haven't the
saying he's out
Fantastic
there just
Four?
murder everybody? I'm not saying murder everybody
Plenty of
indiscriminately.
villains do that.
The Joker has killed hundreds of people.
How many has Doctor Doom
So
killed?
is the Trickster.
For nothing, though. He's just
No, for
I think this shit is
laughs.
funny.
Not for nothing. For
That
laughs.
is a sadistic person who's behind
Exactly.
bars and
That's
just-
villain.
The Joker is a joke.
Yes.
That
He
that
can't-
is
That's the
correct,
point.
sir.
And he would meet up with Frank Castle exactly one time. Even in the crossover comic that Batman had with the Punisher, he stopped the Punisher from killing. Just turn your head for a second, Bruce. Go play with the Riddler or
All
something.
right, let me ask you this: how come no one's killed Doctor Doom?
Because they can't.
They can.
They-
Frequently,
they-
yeah.
Doom has been defeated only to return or he has a backdoor plan to get out of it and come back and get him again. The Joker, he just gets put in handcuffs. I'll get you next time, Batman.
And he
I'll
does.
get out of
The whole thing with the Joker is that if Batman killed him, he in essence becomes the Joker.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
He does.
That was proved in the Killing Joke. I'm sorry.
No,
that was absolutely
it
proved.
doesn't. Does a police officer that shoots a murderer become a murderer?
Indiscriminately, yeah.
The number of murderers are still the same.
But they're not
Okay,
gonna,
okay.
The Joker could easily be taken out.
So could lots of villains.
But
He could
this
just,
isn't about other villains. It's about the
he
Joker.
could just pop up again. You don't know that it's not been that we're not on Joker number 7. You
Okay.
don't know. Nobody
We're
knows
number
his
7.
backstory. Nobody knows. That's the whole thing.
This is my problem with Batman as well, because they need to keep playing this little game until they grow old or something. Secretly,
I mean,
they're texting each other.
you can say
like,
the same
hey,
thing about
you break-
Doom.
Hey, Batman's texting Joker at 3 a.m. in Arkham. Hey, you up?
You can
Wanna
say the
call
same thing
Sylvania?
about Doom, saying he's going to get defeated, so
Do you
why
want
even
the-
try for power?
Do you want the honest answer?
What?
Do you want the next comic book?
That's true with any villain.
That's
How do
why
we-
he doesn't kill the Joker. Do you want the next comic book? You do.
How do we know Doom hasn't been disposed of and one of his Doom bots is not
Could
taking
be.
charge?
Could be, but Doom's actually been in Doom 2099. But this isn't a comparison to Doom. It's just how lame the Joker is.
No,
Well,
this is a discussion on villains, so yes, it does involve
It
Doom.
absolutely does.
And let me remind you of something. When Joker died in Batman Beyond, like during the Return of the Joker, he put his conscience in a little microchip that he then implanted into
He had a backdoor plan, I'll admit.
and he came back many years later. And when he came back, the entire city was like, "Oh my God, it's Joker again!" If Doom comes up, like, "Oh, it's Doom." Fantastic Four, go do your thing.
Out of Tim Drake's hand, who also, thank you, Tim Drake, for doing what Batman couldn't do.
So your problem with Batman
But
is
Tim
that he
Drake
has
was
a
also
moral
influenced by
compass?
Joker.
I'm not
so.
saying Batman has to kill all of his villains. I'm just saying
You
this one
are.
is the worst.
Just making an exception. Just an exception.
Yeah.
Just one bad day,
Yeah.
right? That's
One
never
bad
work.
day.
And then move on.
It's never not worked out for anybody.
It's fine to have a personal moral
Instead,
compass.
he'll just have the conscience of all the other people that Joker's killed because you don't have
Well,
the stones.
the
to take
Joker
care of
and
this problem.
Deathstroke and Deadshot and Huntress.
You can't
and-
kill Deathstroke. That's the thing.
You
Why not?
Absolutely can.
Because Deathstroke can handle himself in a fight. If you go out looking for Deathstroke,
He did get beat by Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
Deathstroke's been defeated lots of times.
And
Deathstroke
And-
is boring.
At least he wasn't
Teen
defeated.
Titans
He wasn't.
multiple
I
times.
mean,
Deathstroke is a mercenary. He has standards.
Doom got beat
No,
by
he doesn't.
Squirrel.
That's the whole point of being mercenary.
Your whole problem is that standards should be thrown out the window if this inconvenient guy pops up enough. That's
Yeah.
what you were just arguing on the side of.
Yeah,
Joker has killed thousands of people. Put Joker in the ground.
Then
that was Deadshot.
Joke's over. Try
Cora,
it. Go ahead.
what
Try
do
it.
so wait,
Cora!
because he is such a murderer. And he's killed so many people. He's not a good villain. I mean, don't villains kill?
But with reason sometimes.
Oh, you just don't like anarchy.
And that's what he's all
He doesn't
about.
like
Oh,
it.
you don't like anarchy.
You know how to restore from anarchy? There we go.
You don't. Oh,
You're
okay.
right. We should trust our
Shave
government.
his green
and
hair,
our
put a sponge on
policemen.
his head. Get
Oh,
rid of-
never mind. You just don't like anarchy. That's whatever.
Cora,
Stupid.
go for it.
Man, mine feels really lame now because no one's gonna argue.
No one argued about mine. It's fine.
we can be the GRPGs that no one argues with. So mine is also, I'm just gonna throw a spoiler out there for anyone that actually wanted to play Suikoden in the world. All three of you.
I'm going to eventually.
One day.
Well, here's a spoiler for the third one. So in the third one, we are, a common theme is characters that resurface throughout the games. And there's one character that is in all three of these, and he's always been on your side, at least in the first two. In the third one, he becomes your main antagonist, and that is Luck. Luc. He is the bearer of the true wind rune, which are... True runes are, like, extremely powerful magic. Like, he blew an entire army into another country.
Oh wow.
Nice.
That was incredible and a little terrifying.
Wait, what's the motivation behind the heel turn?
The motivation is he has been seeing visions, and his moral compass is kind of switched. The visions he sees are of a world that is just barren and dead. And his thought process is the true runes, the true elemental runes are the reason. So his whole thing is that he wants to gather all 5 of the true runes of the elements. So fire, air, water, lightning. Oh, I forgot what the 5th one was.
Fire, water.
Fire, water,
Earth.
land, earth. Thank you, and earth. And he wants to take them to a sacred pedestal and destroy himself, and in the process destroy the 5 runes. Because if those runes are gone, then chaos can't happen. The balance will, in his mind, be shifted back. Now, one thing that is important is normally, if you already have a true rune, you cannot wield another. Using ancient magic that he learned illegally, I believe it was illegally. I think it was also just magical that he could do it anyway. He stole a rune from his twin brother so that he could have 2, and was able to steal all 5. He gets taken down by the hero who is known as the Firebringer, and he's left to die in the crumbling remains of the temple that he tried to use to destroy the world. Or not destroy the world, but save the world, as far as he is concerned.
That's cold blood.
Yeah.
That's dope.
How do we know he wasn't right?
That's legit.
We don't. That's the thing.
Ooh.
The next game was a game that takes place in the past. In like 100 years in the past before even the first game happened. And then the next game was flung far into the future. So we don't know if he was right or wrong, but what we do know is that he did not succeed, unfortunately. But he almost did. And there's a lot of like intricacies with it, and it's something that I loved because you don't know it's him. He's known just as the masked bishop because he's a bishop for a country that he's from, to kind of hide himself so he can like maneuver around and try to figure out how to take the runes. In the first 2 games that he appears, at first he shows up and he's kind of a brat, but he's not terrible. He's just kind of brash and doesn't want to talk to you. In the second game, he gets more dialogue, and you see that he's starting to become jaded, but you don't understand why. Like, his asshole level got turned up, and he's just very dismissive. He's having to fight in another war, and he's seeing all of this destruction, and unbeknownst to the player, he's having these visions. Third game rolls around, it's like, I think, 10 or 15 years flung into the future from the second game, and he's already gotten the bishop position, and he's already started his plot. And it's a huge deal when it's revealed, because he had to betray like the seer and knower of the future, who was his master, in order to do this. And it's insane. There's so many intricacies to this.
The third one was the last one, right?
No. The last one that we've had in the main story was Suikoden 5, but in terms of like chronological, 3 was the last.
So what if the next one, all that stuff starts happening? Everybody's
That'd
like,
be dope.
we defeated him years ago. Boy, good thing. Boom. Oh, he was right. Just
That's exactly where I would go if I was whiteboarding it.
plot
Like,
twist.
There are 2 characters that one is a villain and one is a hero. It's said when they fight, the Armageddon will happen, and they haven't met in person yet. Like, they haven't. So death and destruction are probably on the way, but we don't know. That's kind of the sad thing with the series. But we do know that he was thwarted and his plan did not come to fruition, but he was so determined that he was right and that his cause was the just cause, that he was going to destroy an entire village of innocent people just to get the fire rune.
That's dope.
Because it was rumored that it was there.
Like Magneto.
So
Vision quests are like totally legit bad guys.
I'm on a mission, bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best.
Yes.
That's super dope. I need to play these games so bad.
Also, not to brag or anything, but even with just the wind rune, he could destroy Dr. Doom.
Ooh.
I mean,
Get him.
he flung an entire army into another country.
Doom created a universe.
Okay.
Yeah, but it kind of
That's cool.
sucked.
It's the one that we currently reside in comics, so no, it doesn't.
It kind of
It kind of sucks. It's just like Legos. Like, I created universes
You want to look at the
with
president?
Legos.
Universe's story?
Yeah, this is the best timeline. You're
I'm
right.
in the
My
comic
bad.
universe, okay?
Oh, okay.
This one does this vein of reality does kind of looks a little bleak. Magneto was right.
Also, let's be honest. The average citizen in the Marvel universe has a terrible life, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
True.
Forget
They have insurance premiums through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, their property gets destroyed and the government doesn't pay for it.
Oh,
Anyway.
I'm sorry. You don't have thing insurance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, you don't
Oh.
have
You have Hulk
superhero.
insurance.
Like,
Did you get Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery? You really should have gotten it.
Oh.
The Rhino's
It
really
was an
problematic this time of
add-on.
the year.
I wanted to shout out with no comments a couple other villains that I love.
Yeah.
Gustavo Fring played by Juan Carlos
Yep.
Esposito in Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yes.
Earl Jones and David Prowse. Neverending Story had nothing. It's the most terrifying thing to
The
this
mud
day.
pit is the
The
villain
mud-
in
He
that.
had a henchman, but like the nothing was what
Okay.
was. Regina George from Mean Girls.
Yes.
Yes, best villain.
Scar, played by
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons, also Jafar and Ursula, and all the. They had golden villains for a time, and Moriarty, played by Andrew Scott in the TV show
Absolutely.
Sherlock.
I got a few real quick. The Daleks,
Yeah.
Doctor Who,
Yeah.
and the Cyberman. Aaron Burr,
That was one of mine.
and then my absolute favorite, my other favorite one, Ric Flair, one of the best villains in all of wrestling.
Woo! All right, I have no add-ons because we got to end the show at some point. Guys, thank you for joining us out there. We will be back next week. Of course, you can find us over at youtube.com/SCNS Live. Like this video and subscribe. You can also find us in audio form on iTunes and Google Play and Podbean if you just want to go over there and subscribe. But if you want to follow us individually, you can follow me at JasonTheX on Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me at BetterCat on Instagram and usually at Doe Drawings on Twitter, where we're drawing cartoons of awful cartoons of things that casters say.
You can find me at Bryce Culver on Facebook and Instagram, and also I have an Instagram toy page called Trapdoor Toys. And for my special mention for villain I love, it would be Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
that's a good
That's
one.
a good
That's
one.
amazing.
That's a scary one.
You can find me Instagram, Twitter, Cass_Bradley. My villain shout out is Snidely Whiplash from Dudley Do Right.
There's golden in there.
One of the best
Hills.
cosplays I've ever seen was her doing Snidely Whiplash. You can find me on Instagram under NerdyRick89. And you can also find me every Wednesday at Super Cool Nerd Nation. This past week, it was my friend Dana. And then next week, I've got a really awesome couple that's going to be on there. So keep an eye out for that.
Oh, is it me now?
Yep.
Is it me now? You can find me on Instagram at Korodono, Korodono, where I post artwork and cosplay related things. Or you can follow me on Twitter, where I will scream into the void about Suikoden forever, at Hawk's Perch. And my villain shout out would have to be another Suikoden villain, Luca Blight, because dear God, that battle was awful. Terrible. He's terrifying.
And of course, you can catch our other shows, Alternate Heads, Anime TV, and this weekend we're back playing some D&D on the Twitch channel, 2 p.m. Make sure you're there for that. Otherwise, I think we got it all, guys. So, as we always say around here, keep on
nerding.
Nerdin'.
Nerdy.
Nerdy.
Magneto was right.
Woo!
Sounds like a bird. All right, that is our show. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to check out the live video version of this podcast, you can find it on Facebook and YouTube at SCNS Live. And if you want to join the SCNS Live community, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at SCNS Live. Thank you for listening and have an amazing week.
Nailed it.